morning and welcome to our last morning of this section of the trip. We're going to be riding to Santiago today. We're going to be heading up into the mountains and across a high altitude border crossing. At the moment we're just working our way out of Mendoza. It's another beautiful morning. Crisp 22 degrees at the moment. We are expecting the temperature to drop rather dramatically as we go up into the mountains. I just need to work out where the hell we're going here. Wait a second. If in doubt, don't get lost. Right, anyway, while I work that out, I'm going to switch the camera off and switch it back on later. Okay, so that wouldn't have made much difference one way or the other, but whether I took the flyover or not, but just to be on the safe side, I thought best pull over, work it out, because it's not clear from the route notes. There's nothing on the route notes that says keep left onto the flyover or continue straight ahead, which would have been helpful, but they both ended up in the same place anyway, so it wouldn't have made much difference. Anyway, here we are leaving Mendoza. A long day, 225 miles. Set a leave time of 8:30, and I sort of left just after that because I wanted to check on one of our riders who's not been feeling well. The entire group left much earlier than that, as they do. So Ted's gone ahead to the border, and we've told the guys how to deal with the border crossing this time, so it'll be interesting to see how many of them are still at the border when we get there, and how many have already worked their way through it. But as I say, first things first is negotiating our way out of Mendoza. You will notice how much more, well, restrained the traffic is. First of all, how little there is, which is nice this time of the morning, Sunday morning. But also a little bit more behaved, not quite so much chaos. It's all very sensible. But just like most cities that we travel through, the first part of the day is always the bit where when you're getting out of the city. It's just urban traffic, but quite well behaved urban traffic in this case. Anyway, I'll switch the camera back on once the scenery gets a little bit more interesting, because I'm sure you're not interested in watching me ride along what is effectively a motorway. Okay, so we're on our way to the Chilean border, and as you can see up ahead, there's lots of beautiful high snow-capped mountains, look ever so pretty. The only challenge is, that's where the border is, up there in amongst the snow-capped mountains. So, we're going to have to see just how things progress as we get closer to them, but don't they look gorgeous? We're going to be heading up high. The border crossing is just over 3,500 metres up. So I think in a little while it's going to start getting colder. It's already down to 19 degrees. But snow-capped mountains look beautiful. Let's see what they look like when we get closer to them. Okay, so here we are. We're still on the way up towards the border, but I thought you might like to see this rather beautiful canyon that we're following as we head up into the hills, up into the mountains, following the course of the river, which is, I've said many times before, always means that the road is good, because as the river has meandered its way down, carving out this valley, it's created an opportunity for the road builders to build a piece of tarmac that just winds its way up in a series of lovely curves. It just makes for great riding. But not only that, but the scenery is getting ever more grand. see the snow on the mountain right up at the top. That's where the well, still quite a distance from the border actually. We've done 48 miles since we left the hotel. It's around 130 to the border, so we've got about 90 miles to go, well 80 miles to go to actually get to the border itself, which gives you an idea of the scale of this place, the scale of this mountain range, that we've got to sort of keep piling on our way up for another 80 miles before we get over the top and down the other side. The Chilean border is just over the top of the rise, top of the mountain, top of the pass rather. But this road is just, I mean, what a beautiful day to be riding a motorcycle. And what epic scenery. And for some, this is the last day of their trip, so we are losing 4 bikes, 5 people in Santiago as they finish their section, the Northern Andes section of the trip. So it's a great day for them to finish on with some truly spectacular riding. Absolutely incredible scenery. It has been a great trip so far. We're sorry to see those guys go. Oh, we have here a police checkpoint by the looks of it. This could be quite interesting. I might actually leave the camera on for this one. Usually, so this is the Gendarmerie Nationale. Usually they just wave the motorbikes through, so we'll just see what they want. They want to see any paperwork or anything. Nope, he doesn't want to see anything. Just waves me through. Just got to wait our opportunity to get past the truck. But there you go, police checkpoint for you. Okay, so we're now less than 50 miles to the border, just less than 50 miles to the border. On the scenery, it's still as epic as it has been, well, pretty much since I last had the camera on. It's just, we're in this just incredible mountain landscape. Obviously there's a lot of trucks heading towards the border, so we've got good overtaking practice, but here you can see to my left where the river valley was carved, a vertical slice out of the mountain there, just left that shelf, and up ahead the snow-capped tips of the mountain. We're continuing to work our way up this valley. One of the things that strikes me when on a road like this, or on an environment like this, is I wonder who in the first instance decided it would be a good idea to come all the way up here, mile after mile. I mean, what is it, 130 miles, up into the mountains, following the course of the river, so that they can get to a high pass and drop down into what is now another country. Who thought it was a good idea? And then to build a road over it so that trade can continue between the two countries. It's just mind-boggling, really. On the effort required to just go. The first explorers would have wondered what was the other side. And now it's a major trade route with an epic road for us motorcyclists to ride on. And just to ride with this scenery for, well, I've been riding for an hour and a half now, so the scenery's just been it takes your breath away, it really does. Anyway, maybe a little bit more later on. Okay, so 7.5 miles to the border, and as you can see, We're right up there now. Temperature's dropping rapidly. It's down to 14 degrees now. It feels quite a bit colder than that because of the wind. It's blowing a hoolie, as they say. We're gaining on Norman. The road surface is getting more and more broken up where it's been cracked over the winters. But it's really quite spectacular up here. This is just one of those epic days. Genuinely epic. And, enter a tunnel. A zone of Wi-Fi. I don't think I'm going to stop and put my Wi-Fi on. Here we are. It's nice just to get out of the wind for a second or two. Although the temperature is dropping dramatically. And even though I've got 6 miles to go, I might have to stop and put my fleece on soon. Because we are still going to be climbing, so I might be stopping and putting an extra layer on now. To put the camera on in a little while, see how else we get on. Okay, so here we go. We're going to enter the international tunnel now, and it's inside this tunnel that the actual border, the international line between Chile and Argentina is. So we actually cross the border before we reach the customs post and immigration. Somewhere in this tunnel is the official bit where we cross from Argentina into Chile. That was Argentina, and there's Argentinian flags. Some interesting surface. It's like wet cobblestones. Temperature's really getting quite cold now. And I did have to stop and put my down jacket on. There we go. There's the Chilean flags. Woohoo! Welcome to Chile. So I'm now officially, well, not officially in Chile because obviously I don't have my passport stamped or anything like that, but we are actually in Chile now. We've crossed the border into Chile, which is quite cool, isn't it? Crossing the border inside a tunnel. Once we exit the border, we'll ride on to the immigration and customs points and then do the processing to get myself and the motorcycle into Chile officially. Sure what's going on here. Just some sort of checkpoint probably.